All right, welcome to Module 4. Thanks for sticking around this long. In this module, we're going to be discussing technical optimization techniques. Now, this aspect deals with technical aspects of a website, including site speed, mobile friendliness, crawlability, and it just basically ensures that search engines can effectively index and rank your website. Now, by index, I mean just it picks up the keywords that you're using and starts ranking you for those keywords. That's getting indexed. That means Google has looked at this page, they've reviewed your homework, and they've credited you accordingly. So you definitely want to get indexed so that you can rank. Quick tip here, definitely make sure your website is linked to Google Search Console and Google Analytics. This allows Google to automatically have a backdoor into your website so that every time you add additional content, all you have to do is grab your sitemap and load it over to Google Search Console, where you can then request them to index your work. This is like basically turning in your homework to the teacher. You wrote a new page, you want them to look at it and credit you accordingly, so give them a sitemap and say, hey, check it out, I got a new page. And they'll be like, oh, okay, cool, I'll take a look at that. And they read it and go, nice, see you're doing water heaters now, we'll get you on the board for that. So technical optimization is essential for ensuring that your website actually comes up quickly, it displays correctly across all devices, laptops, cell phones, iPads, things like that. You don't have any weird rendering issues where the screen isn't the right size. All these weird little technical attributes are factors in ranking. If you have a garbage website that doesn't show up properly on cell phones, that's one of the key factors right now. Google has switched over from PC-based indexing to mobile-based indexing. So if your website doesn't show up on cell phones correctly, that's going to be a big strike against you. They're going to see your website as kind of trashy, old school, it doesn't work right, and they're going to hide you back there on page 5 where no traffic's at, and that's bad. So you definitely want to pay attention to this next module. All right, the first topic in this module is website speed. Now, you definitely want your website to render correctly and fast. If someone clicks on your link and they have to sit there for 15 seconds waiting for your site to load, they're not going to wait. As you're well aware, people have very short attention spans these days, and if they click on your link and they have to wait for more than 5 seconds, they're going to say, screw this, and go to the next guy and click that link. And if his website pops up, they're going to check him out. So you always want to make sure that your website renders fast. A couple best practices for this is organize your images and use browser caching to improve your load times. Maintain your server response time by choosing a reliable hosting provider and enabling compression. You also want to ensure that all the images on your website are sized correctly. Now, just because you have a little box on your website with a picture of a water heater for your water replacement thing, doesn't mean that that picture is 400 by 300 pixels. You can grab an image that's 4,000 by 3,000 pixels and you can shoehorn it into a tiny box on your website and it's still 4,000 by 3,000 pixels. Which means when your page tries to load, it's going to have all these massive files to load and it's going to take a while. And that's going to bog your load speed down and cost you clients. So definitely make sure that you are optimizing your speed. If you use WordPress, there's a couple great plugins for this. Jetpack is one that I'm pretty familiar with. And there's several others, so definitely do your research. Check out a couple plugins. Definitely make sure your images are compressed properly and you have caching enabled so that your website pops right up instantly the second time someone comes. First time, it'll load it. Second time, it'll rely on a cached version and it'll pop it back up instantly. So that's your tips and tricks for website speed practices.